last Saturday night. I'm sitting right here and I hear this screech, thud, bam. Power goes out. It sounded like a car accident on the street. I'm down in the basement, so on the street up above. But I'm thinking, I'm trying to, come on, because then the power came back on. Boom, miracle. I'm thinking, okay, well, that must be, the transformer must have made some crazy screeching of metal. But yeah, I'm fumbling around in the dark trying to find my phone. So, because it was pitch black down here, power comes back on, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. But I hear my wife walking around upstairs and the dog. So I go out and walk out down the driveway, and there's this Porsche that is just accordioned sitting in my next door neighbor's driveway. And there's one of the mini transformers that are on the telephone poles is hanging down above a patch of what looks like oil or gas that's leaked from the car. And, there's glass and car parts everywhere. And there are already about 10 or 12 people milling around out there. It was so crazy. And so basically, the guy, I don't know how badly hurt he was, but he had managed to get out of the car. I don't know how he did that. But the neighbors, the people who saw it, said that they thought he was going about 70 miles an hour on our very narrow, up and down, curvy residential street, which is 25 miles an hour speed limit. He went about 50 yards up on the next door neighbor's lawn, took out a street sign or a speed limit sign, completely took out my neighbor's mailbox. He didn't take down the telephone pole, but he hit it hard enough to knock the whole electrical contraption off of it, and then kept going, left a seriously sizable indentation in my neighbor's tree, and then somehow the car, stopped in the driveway. So turns out that the guy was, he was drunk and, definitely went to jail. And the power went back out, and there was a police car parked in front of our bedroom window until 3 or 4 in the morning. And it was pretty crazy. So I want to show you the chart. I looked up the chart the next day, and that is not it, but I want to show you this chart later. So let's see. Here we go. So September 8th, it was right around 10:15. I don't know the exact time, but that would have been within 5 or 10 minutes of when it happened. So here's the local ascendant, and I was talking with Sally and some of the other people in Vermont on our retreat about how the chart for where you are can be really instructive. So we go through a day, and it's like, I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling normal, and all of a sudden I just feel like, ugh, or I feel really sad, or I got really angry, or I noticed the people around me got really chaotic. A lot of times that has to do with what's on the ascendant and the way the planets in the sky are relating to so the ascendant is determined by our time and our place, on the planet. So in Smyrna, Georgia, last Saturday night at 10:15 p.m. or so, look what's right on the ascendant. So just popped above the horizon, Uranus, planet of shock and surprise and sudden electrical Uranus, literally when it was discovered in the late 1700s, it was immediately likened to lightning striking. So Uranus has this very electrical nature to it. And if you look from Uranus up here, we've got Mars just about to re-enter Aquarius. So Mars and Uranus have been doing this dance since the middle of May. So you could look at May 15th, roughly July 27th, which is when we had the big lunar eclipse in Aquarius. And the last So just to go through those dates, May 15th, Mars and Uranus both had just entered, Mars had entered Aquarius, Uranus had entered Taurus, and they were square, so 90 degrees. Mars-Uranus is a very volatile aspect. And one of the reasons I'm making this video now is just to tell you to pay attention on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's Tuesday, September 18th, Wednesday, September 19th. You know, I'm really glad that I had actually just come back from the store about 15 minutes before the accident happened, right outside the house. And I was listening to a song that I've been working on, and I really thought about driving for another 10 or 15 minutes just to kind of listen over and over and see if some lyrics would come to me. And I couldn't help thinking afterwards, like I could have been on the street when this guy came around the corner at 70 miles an hour. So thankful for that. Most people won't have a problem, you know, with the Mars-Uranus square, but going back to the dates, May 15th, Mars and Uranus both enter Aquarius and Taurus respectively. July 27th, they're both retrograde and they square each other again. And that was right around 3-4 degrees Aquarius, where the lunar eclipse was. And then on September 18th, so that's Tuesday, I'll show you this chart, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, US, we've got, where are they? We've got Uranus at 1 degree, 52 minutes of Taurus going backwards, and Mars at 1 degree, 52 minutes of Aquarius moving forwards. And so this is the third and final square in this aspect pattern. And, you know, so a couple things I want to say about this. One, don't do anything stupid on purpose. You know, don't take chances. Don't drink and drive. Whatever you do, most of my readers probably don't have to worry about that, but you know, don't drive with somebody who has been drinking or who's really inebriated or on something else. Don't be rewiring your house. Don't play golf in a lightning storm. You know, if there's a hurricane coming, like evacuate, even if you feel like, you know what I'm saying, just trust your intuition, because I have known of I knew a guy in New Orleans, a really cool guy, who got electrocuted when Mars was square. He had Mars squaring Uranus in his chart, I believe, at that time. And he survived, but the guy he was working with died. So, you know, huge bummer, right? Anything electrical, anything involving, you know, things that move fast, you just want to give it a pass if it doesn't feel right. And again, most people are not going to experience the negative side of this, but if you're really angry, if you got a lot of frustration or resentment, you know, that you haven't been able to express, that Mars-Uranus, Mars, anger, assertiveness, Uranus, enlightenment, release, shock, opening up, you know, breaking out of the box, freedom. Mars-Uranus is going to try to release that. So you can look back at those earlier dates, the middle of May and the end of July, and kind of see what was going on for you then. And the way these cycles with the outer planets tend to work is we'll get one hit in direct motion going forward, then we'll get one hit retrograde, and then one hit moving forward again. So that's like transiting planet to natal chart. But with Mars-Uranus, we have a very similar dynamic going on. And it's like the first hit sets the scene, like, what are you going to learn here? What's the opportunity? The retrograde exact aspect, that's when you get to really dig in. And if you didn't kind of really get the message the first time, now you get to really suffer, you know, and make sure that you learn it. And then the last hit, ideally, so this would be Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, that's when we graduate. That's when we move on. So if you don't have, you know, important kind of key planets or points around 2 or 3 degrees, the first 4 or 5 degrees, say, of the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio, you may not really notice this. If you do, you know, I would look at this as, hey, you know, is there anything I really need to get clear on? Like, what was going on for me in the middle of May and at the end of July? Because I want to get this now, you know, so I don't have to get whacked again. And remember, Uranus is always trying to set us free. Uranus and Taurus is about the revolution of pleasure and honoring our bodies, honoring the things of the earth, experiencing, really getting out of our heads and experiencing bliss and doing what we love and doing what makes us feel good. Mars in Aquarius is about, using our kind of accessing the divine spark to recreate our society and make more of an Aquarian, a utopian. Utopian's got such a bad connotation, but a society that really is liberty and justice for all, not just for white guys and rich white guys or whatever. So all genders, all colors, and yeah, that's probably enough said. So just on Tuesday, 7 p.m., Tuesday the 18th, we have that exact Mars-Uranus square, and then the moon is going to trigger that, and they're still going to be really close to exact. On Wednesday the 19th, the moon in Aquarius at 11:35 p.m. Eastern, 8:35 Pacific. So that'll be into Thursday morning in Europe, and sorry, Australia and Indonesia and Japan. I can't do that math, but you can do it. So the moon's going to kind of trigger that again. So you want to watch out Wednesday night as well. And just pay attention and really, know that it's an opportunity for more freedom, for more authenticity, more autonomy, but also just try to avoid, stupid situations. Let me just show you one other chart here, which is, oh, it's down here, I think. Yeah, so this is just to show you how the moon plays into this. So this was the middle of last week, Wednesday, so 3 or 4 days after the car crash next door. I'm going to pick up my kid from school, and it usually takes about 20, 25 minutes round trip, and it took me an hour. So the one of the major roads on the way between our house and school was shut down because there were 2 separate car accidents within less than a mile, within like 3/4 of a mile. One was a 3-car fender bender, and the other one was like, it was bad, man. It was like, some big moving truck like blocking traffic in one lane and a car shattered in the other lane. And look what's going on here. So we got the moon at 1 degree Scorpio, Venus at 2.5 degrees Scorpio, both of those opposite Uranus, and square Mars, which has just come back into Aquarius. So we've got this grand cross, including the nodes. And it was like, that whole day, it was just like people in Atlanta were just looking for something to just swerve and smash into. It was just a lot of chaos on the road. So just pay attention, be careful, and then also look for the opportunity here. Look for more freedom. Look for sudden illumination, because Mars-Uranus can definitely also bring that. All right, peace out. Talk to you soon. Hey, you're still here. So am I. Yeah, we're cool, right? We're cool, right? We're cool. Yeah, you're cool. I'm cool. Dude. We're the coolest, man. I got to tell you that. Don't tell anybody. But it's all about us. This is all happening for our benefit.